Hey honey, welcome to my channel. My name is Wynne Jean, and today I got some real scrumptious for you. I have a new sew-in technique that mimics the tape-in sew-in combo. You get lots of parting options, great blending, and you can sneak a whole bunch of bundles in your head, but I'm teaching you how to do it for free at home as opposed to paying $400 for it. So if you want to see how I got this 5-part sew-in, yes, 5 parts, it's literally giving frontal but a sew-in, and you have the most beautiful ponytail. But I'm giving too much away. If you want to see how I got this look, then let's get into the video. All right. Now that I got you here, honey, let's get into the tea. First things first, you have to have the right hair. Hold my hand when I say this. Pick a texture that matches your hair, friend, please. Now, if you are a heat damaged hottie like myself, you might be able to get away with a little Brazilian wavy, a little Indian wavy situation, okay? You might be in heat damage heaven, as I call it. But if you have a kinkier texture of hair, which I do, but like I said, my ends are heat damaged and I'm kind of low key going for the gusto, but we skipping ahead. If you have kinkier texture hair like me, I have 4A hair. I don't know if we're still doing the whole hair category thing, but I have 4A hair, if that helps. And for me, a kinky curly, a kinky straight, a yaki, that's where I thrive.
This is where you live. Right here.
Okay, that's where I live, if you will. So today, I'm using this really beautiful kinky curly hair from Curlsqueen, my girls. And I will link all the details down below and on the screen if I can. There's a lot going on the screen right now. Definitely check the description bar. I have 3 bundles of kinky curly. I'm a little tipsy. I have 3 bundles of kinky curly hair. This voiceover is going to be crazy. I can already tell where this is going. We're going though. We're on our way. Anyway, 3 bundles of kinky curly hair. Okay, but these aren't just any bundles. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, when they sent me the email, I was like, y'all capping. They said that 3 bundles of this hair equals 4 bundles of traditional hair based on the density of the wefts. So 2 bundles of this hair equals 3 full bundles. And I have 3 full bundles in my hair. So it's giving very much Beyonce, it's giving Meg Thee Stallion, and I'm not mad at it, okay? I love both of those Houston hotties and I'm here for it. So this is the hair. It's gorgeous. It came beautiful out the pack, and I can tell by how wide these bundles are that they're not allowing them density. We're gonna get into the thick of that later. We're gonna get into that tea in a minute. However, we have to wash these beautiful babies. I don't know about y'all, but I like washing my hair before I install it, especially for styles I'm gonna keep for a while. So this is so interesting. We'll be rocking her full. So I want to go ahead and shampoo and condition these bundles using the new Garnier curl system that I got. I want to give her a little spin, and I liked it. The conditioner was nice and thick. The shampoo was very moisturizing. I'm here for it. Now we're gonna sit these bundles out somewhere to dry, to air dry, as we work on our braiding pattern, which is also important. And not doing voiceovers when you are tipsy are also important, but y'all have been really liking these video voiceovers, and I'm tipsy, and y'all gonna have to meet me where I am. You know what I mean? This is a give and take relationship, okay? I'm giving, y'all gotta take, okay? Work with me. Now, if you have made it this far, comment down below a black heart, because black is one of my favorite colors, and we need to live in the world right now, okay? I cannot watch the news without crying and getting stressed out, and I hate that for me because I'm a tough girly pop, and they are not about to stress me the fuck out because I know they're trying to, but we don't go there. This is a positive page. Anyway, so braiding pattern. Now we gotta get into the braiding pattern. And this is where the true tea is. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is really very important. Okay, I cannot stress to you enough, if you get this braiding pattern down, the style and the rest of the entire process is a piece of cake. So let's start. First things first, we need to have an adequate amount of edges out, okay? And again, this ain't no problem because we picked the texture of hair that matches our texture of hair. Right, friend? Hold my hand. All right. Now, okay, so I'm gonna leave out about a half inch, about 3/4 of an inch to an inch of a leave out across the front and all the way around the perimeter of my hair. And at the corners in the back, it's really important to round out. Sorry. Anyway, so braiding pattern. Okay, cool, braiding pattern. We got our edges parted out. Make sure the corners are rounded. That's what we're saying. Okay, cool. Now, we need to work on our leave out for our parts. Now, like I said in the intro, this is a 5-part sew-in. I've already done a 3-part sew-in years ago, but now this is a 5-part sew-in because we're doing bigger and better things, okay? So, this is the key to it. Let me stop playing games. This is the key to it. Never again do a tipsy voiceover. Comment down below if you are enjoying this, because if y'all don't like this, this is never happening again. Anyway, boom. Okay, we're gonna start by parting our hair in the center because I have to have a middle part no matter what. So I part my hair down the center. We need to have about 1/4 to a half an inch of leave out on either side of our part. So I parted out about a half an inch section off to the side of my middle part. And then I'm gonna create a small 1/4 inch section from this section. It's hard to explain, but I hope you can really see it through the video and look me in my eyes. Okay, I'm trying to explain this to you. But the small section we're gonna go ahead and braid up, and this is what we're gonna sew our extensions onto, and then the other section is gonna be our leave out, right? Okay, so we have this first braid for our extensions in the front. Now, I also know for a fact I want to have a braid really close to my leave out along the sides for my ponytail and to make sure the sides of my hair are nice and full. So I did 2 braids right here because I want to have a nice little chunk of hair to make, like I said, the front of my hair look really, really full. So all of this right here is sewn onto this section. So I put 2 braids here, because not only do we want to have extensions for fullness in between our natural hair, but we also want to have a nice little thick base, right? Am I making sense? Yeah? Okay. So we have that there. Now we also need 1 more braid so that we can have extensions here and break up the 2 parts for our 5 part, right? So I parted out a 1/4 inch section in between equal sections for our 2 parts on this side. So then I braid that section, and now we have the 2 braids here, 1 braid here, and 1 braid here. So all of our braids that we need on this side, right? Now I have to recreate that on the other side, and then as you can see, everywhere where I have these little bantu knots is where I can part my hair, hence the 5 part. Now we also have our edges of the front and our edges along the side for a little ponytail moment. And now we cooking with grease, okay? Now things are getting spicy and real interessante. Now for the back of the braiding pattern is relatively simple. I like to bring the braid from the side down and around the back. So it comes down in this way in an L pattern. And then I come from the braid on the furthest to this side, down and across in an L. Braid that all the way to the end, and that's 1 braid. I like to have this as a really smooth braid to keep my ponytail nice and sleek, if you will. It's just my little cheat code. There are plenty of braid patterns that you can do, but this one works for me because I'm doing my hair on myself, and it's a lot easier with the waves. I can arrange my arms to braid my hair, but if you're braiding your hair on a client, do whatever braiding pattern you prefer. Have at it, okay? The back is up to you, honestly. This is what works for me. Now for the rest of the braids, I take the braids and go straight back. And then for the next braid, I braid it down and bring that last braid into the next braid. I know you guys have seen this braid pattern before. Essentially, I'm just adding the ends of the previous braid into the new braid until I only have one braid at the end and everything at the back is nice and connected. And especially for a curly sew-in child, holla if you hear me. Okay, this braid at this point, the back ain't nobody's business. Okay, as long as the front is perfect, and I also will say, as long as you have a nice stable situation to attach the braids to the back of the part, child, this is between you and the Lord. Okay, put a net on it and call it a day. I opted for no net because with curly sew-ins, I tend to wet my hair a lot, and my scalp and my braids dry a lot faster without a net. So it's optional, but if you're not that great at braiding, girl, do what you can and throw a net on it. Who in your scalp? Who's in your scalp with a curly sew-in? Like, that's just invasive. Like, no boundaries. Don't let it happen. So now that our braiding pattern is done, we can start to sew in our bundles, which are about 80% dry at this point. I'm fine with that. I don't need them to be bone dry because we're still gonna wet them in order to define the curls to style it later, but we're not there yet. Okay, right now I'm measuring out a track that fits along the outer perimeter of my braids and I'm cutting it. Okay, I'm big on doubling my tracks to keep the integrity of my hair because I put my hair in a weave bag and I handle mine. Okay, I reuse my hair all the time, but when I have to cut a track, I cut a track. At the end of the day, my priority is my hair looking cute. My second priority is being able to reuse the hair because this hair is not cheap and this economy is not good. Okay. Okay. Now, with that being said, once we have that first track sewed on, you can see how smooth it lays. The ponytail hits. Okay, the ponytail is going to be chef's kiss. The rest of this bundle, we're going to double. So I'm just going to fold it in half and we're going to sew it on, flipping it back and forth to keep it in one piece. Now, because all of this hair is the same length, it's not that big of a deal. But if you have different lengths of hair, like 22, 24, whatever, if you get staggered lengths, it's a lot more important to keep those pieces together because it can be a little much to try to measure it every time you reuse the hair. So as a good measure, and to prevent shedding, I like to keep the bundles together as much as possible. So for the first bundle, this is where we ended up after doubling the hair, and I kept the tracks real close because like I said, it's a lot of hair in these 3 bundles and I want to be able to use it all, so I'm stuffing it in there. Okay, but if you're using a more reasonable amount of hair, you can either single the tracks or when you double them, leave a little bit more space in between. It's your prerogative. I'm going for Super Diva hair today, okay, and I don't want any judgment. Once I finish this first bundle, we're going to go ahead and start the second bundle. For the second bundle, I folded the hair in half and started to sew the bundle from the folded section, not the side with the 2 open pieces, but the folded area. And that way it gave me a little bit more control when sewing in the bundles. I had the option of either doing a single or double bundle. For the edges, I would bring just 1 track up to the side, flip it, and sew 1 track back. Because having 2 tracks and flipping it would be really, really thick, and I want my edges to lay nice and flat. So I brought 1 track to the edge, sewed it, and then I doubled the tracks in the back area where I'm okay with a little bit more fullness. And I'm hoping that me explaining this and showing you what I'm doing is helping. But if you need another video, I got you. Comment down below. I got you, friend. But that's what I did in some areas. But in the back, I just flipped them back and forth, and doubled it until I got here. And now this is where things get a little tricky. Okay, first we want to go ahead and fill in the hair in the back. So in order to do that, I'm going to double this weft again, but this time when I double it, when I start sewing the track, I want to start sewing on the side with the 2 open ends, and that's so that if I end up cutting the track, I end up with 1 long track rather than 2 short ones. Are you following me? Yes? Okay. I went ahead and did that. And then once I filled in all the hair in the back, I ended up with 1 long track that I'm going to use to sew into the small sections in the front. This is a completely different thing. We want to make sure all the hair in the back is full first, and now we're going to start working on the individual braids in the front. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have to go ahead and sew the tracks on too. Now for this, I'm going ahead and I'm not flipping the tracks. I'm just measuring out the length of the hair, and I'm sewing one track under the braid and one track on top. And that's gonna allow it to lay flat whether I have a part here or a part there, you know? I be thinking, yes. Once I have all the tracks sewed in, I went ahead and hopped in the shower and wet everything down and brushed it through. This is too much hair for me to try to wet with a spray bottle. I literally would have taken like 30 minutes just to get everything as moist as I needed it to get the curls nice and defined. So I had to get in the shower, wet her down, and then I was able to go ahead and define the curls. Now for the extensions, I just used the curling spray that came with the Garnier Curl System set. And for my natural hair, I used that same spray, and then I topped it off with a little bit of the Extreme Wet Line Gel, just for a little extra hold. Because like I said, my curl pattern is short, and I also have kind of frizzy hair, so I need a gel or something a little thicker to kind of get her in the shape, okay? And the key to this though is when you're defining the curls in your parts, you want to split each section in half, and that way it's really easy for you to change your part later. That's a little tea for later for sure. And this is everything nice and juicy and moist. And then I had to take it literally took like a full day to dry, because like I said, it's a lot of hair, it's a lot going on. And listen, but once she was dry, the curls were gorgeous. My natural hair blended beautifully, and I was a little nervous at first, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. But I feel like even though my hair texture is a little bit different, it works because I have so much of my hair out. So it just makes it look like I have different textures in my hair rather than it looking like my hair doesn't blend with my extensions, if that makes sense. But y'all be the judge of that, okay? As you can see, I can part my hair in 5 different places. I can do a half up, half down. I can do a ponytail. I can do a bun. There are endless styling options. And I'm not gonna lie, I fear I kind of ate this one. But you can be the judge of that. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I hope that you guys really enjoyed today's video. I definitely did. And when I take this hair out, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna turn it into a wig because she's cute. I love her down. Now I have been wearing this hair for a couple of days, and when I defined it this time, I was a little lazy and I didn't do that great of a job. But let me show y'all what it's looking like a few days later. Okay, let's get into the parts one more time for the one time. Okay. Like, if you say this is not my hair, you are a hater. You are a bona fide hater, and where's your factual evidence, okay? If you can part your hair in 5 places, argue with your mother, okay? Period. No, in all seriousness, I hope that you guys really enjoyed today's video. I had so much fun making it for you. Let me know if you would try this technique with your natural hair, and if so, what texture of hair would you use? All the details about the hair and any coupon codes will be down below in the description box if you guys want to go ahead and scoop her up real quick. And the Black Friday deals are coming. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, babes.